Hi, Iveth. Ashley here. I hope you're having a great weekend. I also chose option one in those questions of defining the client lifestyle. And you were, as you said in the beginning, our lifestyle, according to Adlerian theory, our lifestyle guides our life and our perceptions of the world and how we see ourselves. He talked a lot about how, as far as number one goes, which number one was why does Dr. Carlson tie Gina's motivation back to her parents? He talks a lot about how our relationships or our that lifestyle is developed by the time we're age 5 or 6, and how our parents are essentially the models for what relationships look like, relationships and partnerships. So the way that we see our parents and their relationships are often or reflective of the way that our future partnerships or relationships look like, not necessarily just romantic relationships. And he says, it's the parents' job to teach social interest, and that those mistakes that are made in not teaching potentially, or how it's taught, will affect or come back to haunt us. And so I think, in the defining her lifestyle, he's tying it back to the parents to kind of get to know her and to get to understand her. As you said, like the parental family influence, he's trying to understand the dynamic between them and how it affected her and how she perceives not only herself, but her relationships as well. He's trying to identify the family constellation, as you were talking about. I think, especially, when he's asking her about her parents and who she's more like. And then he also talks about, at some point, or Gina, opens up and tells him about how her father didn't support her mother with her career, but then, as you said, she had that support from her ex-husband. So I think he's using that to get to know her and to get early information about her to help him understand her and help her understand, maybe tie that to help her understand how it affects her as well. Number two, the basic life tasks. I said the same thing. Our answers were pretty similar in all aspects. Her social interests, I think, are a lot of with her run parallel with her work. Being a teacher, you're giving back to the community. There's so much that you're doing for those kids, and she's obviously incredibly passionate about it and loves it so much, as she talked about, and that creates a lot of happiness and for her. And then with her kids too, and raising them, and you can tell she's that's really important to her, and it means a lot, because she wants them to be independent, but she also wants to guide them, and she wants to give them space, let them grow, and that creates a bit of happiness for her. And then the last one was the relationship and the aspect of love. I thought this was really interesting because I obviously watched both videos, but she talked a lot about how at first, like, she doesn't want a relationship, right? And then it was like, well, yeah, maybe in the future she might want one, but she's not sure if she wants a committed one. And then at the end, it was like, after all the digging deeper, it was like, yes, I do want a committed relationship, but I'm still struggling, harboring feelings of anger with this last relationship, and I need to find closure. She didn't say this, but you can see as he kind of pulls it out of her, and he suggests of ways to find closure within that relationship, and I think it's to be able to move on, to move on from that. And then the last one was what techniques, what interventions on the part of the therapist suggest to you that it's an Adlerian therapist. Well, yeah, he uses a lot of the getting to know her, right? Getting to know her lifestyle, building that relationship with her, using a lot of empathy. There was at one point where she was, he said to her, "It's like you're almost selfish to a fault." And she was like, "Yeah." I feel like he validated that sense of a need to be selfish for her, because she's had to do everything herself, and she doesn't need the help from everybody. So he used that. He was asking about her lifestyle. He also was doing you observing the video, watching it happen. He's doing a lot of the listening and observing and affirming and being empathetic. I think he also works on goal setting, and in the sense of the specific technique of creating the image, like you said, of, well, what picture yourself working on the selfishness, and how it has affected your relationship, and how it could potentially bring you closure. And she was able to reflect and say, yeah, I am selfish, and I'm angry, and I'm not necessarily ready to do that. So I definitely think that this is an Adlerian therapist, and that he is using these techniques with her. But I think you did a great video, and I enjoyed watching it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday.